Business, build your career, just be a better person. That's what they're going to do. Now, before we get started, let's welcome the rock star, the Elvis of the rock stars. His name is Stephen David Elliott. Stephen, take it away.
Thank you for that great introduction. Jay has the energy of 3 sons. And I'm talking the full sons, not the dwarf sons. So lots of energy there. Thank you, Jay. We're at the 3 Martini lunch. It's a national virtual networking event. We've been doing it for a very long time, and we are very happy that you are back with us. This is based, for those of you who haven't seen the program before, this is based on Rockstar Connect's Success is Contagious formula. Our panelists are successful in what they do. They are rock stars. We don't create rock stars at Rockstar Connect. We work with rock stars, and we connect them with fantastic attendees all over the country, and we share success through the Success is Contagious program. So this week, we're going to do, instead of our normal question, we are going to do shameless plugs. Everyone got really happy with that. Lisa likes that. Holly likes that. We want to know what you do, what makes you tick, what is your contribution to your community, wherever you may be in the United States or in Canada. You can sell here a little bit. If you want to sell and you want to give your website, you want to give that information, feel free to do that as well. On our end, I've just had a great week. It's, despite the fact that we're hearing some bad news out there, I am very upbeat. I'm extremely optimistic, and just having a wonderful time. And I think, that's what I love about our panelists. They tend to be the same way. I'm very excited tonight because I'm having my personal Rockstar Connect event in downtown Raleigh. Some of you that are local will be attending. I imagine, Lisa, you're going to be there, potentially.
I would virtually. I'm in Atlanta this week.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us from Atlanta. And, Domenic may be able to come. I don't know. Domenic, you had a little bit of a migraine. You feeling better? Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to get started off with a shameless plug. And let's start off with Norma Hollis. Norma is out in California and a very popular panelist.
What am I sharing? A shameless plug of what I have going on or who I am?
Yeah, shameless plug. What you have going on, what you do. You can sell, you can do everything. We don't do that all the time, but this week you can do that.
Well, wonderful. I'm Norma Hollis, and I am an authenticity expert, which means I know people, and I teach people about themselves. I actually have a free masterclass coming up next week, Thursday, August the 12th. And in that masterclass, I'm going to teach you all about authenticity, how to understand yourself at a deeper level, and how that can help your business grow. That leads to a program called Energize Your Sales. If you're more authentic, you do more sales. So I'll add that link to the chat box. Thank you.
That's terrific. And as far as authenticity, you've spoken to a lot of people on the panel. You've met a lot of people on the panel. I'm not going to have you point out everyone, but why don't you pick one person here that you feel is doing a really great job with their authenticity and tell us why.
Well, I really think Domenic is very authentic. And I say that because of what I've learned about his commitment to his work and particularly to his family. And we've had a conversation, we've talked on LinkedIn and also one-on-one. And so every time he presents himself, he's very consistent in what he does. He's very articulate in his authenticity and sharing it. And authenticity is not cognitive, it's heartfelt. And it's best when your brain and your heart come together and speak the same language. And in Domenic, that happens every time I hear him speak.
Well, that's terrific, Domenic. That was
Thank you, Norma.
Welcome, Domenic. That
really
was my
high
authentic
praise.
assessment.
Very high praise. An authenticity expert says how authentic you are. And you're right, Norma, because I socialize with Domenic and his fiance frequently. And he's the same in person as he is online. No artifice, completely blunt, 100% truthful, but yet extremely caring. I don't think he would ever say anything to hurt anyone. He would know how to let people know how they can improve themselves without making them feel bad about themselves.
And he knows how to call someone just to say hi, not to sell, but just to say, who are you and what's going on? So
Well, I mean, you're a person who someone would want to speak with for sure. So there is the attraction there. Don't sell yourself short. You have a lot to offer, and we really appreciate you, Norma. Domenic, you had such a great introduction from Norma. Why don't you expand on that? Tell us a little bit about what you do and what makes you tick. Hey, maybe what type of client you're looking for even.
Oh man. I'm almost lost for words after that. That was really super high praise. And then, I'm looking over here in the chat and Clint's calling me a sarcastic ass, which is actually also true. So he knows me pretty well. That being said, I'm starting something right now, and we talked a lot about me transitioning into partnership with my company, which is completely different of a role from where I was before, where I was trying to acquire clients and I'm trying to go out and meet people in order to help them with their own, personal financial situation or their business's financial situation. Now I'm looking for people to teach how to do that. So I'm looking for people to join my team. I want people who have that kind of high level of authenticity and high level of integrity that I can feed the information and that I already know, as well as the ethic and the way that I want to treat people, the way that I like to treat people, and be able to reach more people through the people that I'm able to coach and teach through this process. So, I mean, I want people that step up their career. I want to help them, and I want to help them build a career doing what I've been doing very successfully.
And how far along do they have to be in their career? Do they already have to be licensed, or would you start with someone from scratch?
I start with people from scratch. I start with people that have only been doing it for a couple of years. I have taken people on that have been doing it for 20 or more years that want a change of scenery or a change of company. I think, there's something that we have that maybe as a philosophy they didn't have before, and it's very attractive to them. So there's lots of reasons and lots of different types of people that I could bring on board my team, but you don't have to have any experience. We will train you through licensing processes and registration processes, and that is all taken care of by the company. And then we also train you on our processes as well, not just the legal, like the state licensing and
Mark, you ready?
I'm ready, willing and
so,
able.
I have had the opportunity not only to have many conversations with Mark Sher, meeting Mark Sher in person as well, but I've heard him educate and speak with professionals face to face many times. And I'm always impressed that at the end of the conversation, they always say, "I'm all in." And you're not really doing any sales to them at all. But what exactly is it you do, and how is it that you help people? What type of client are you looking for? What type of referral partners? Please let us know.
Great. Before I do that, I'm just going to tell all you guys something. I broke down and bought an X chair last week, and anybody that spends more than 4 hours a day in front of their computer, buy an X chair.
What is an X chair?
It's the most awesome chair you've ever sat in. Just Google xchair.com. And anyway, and if any of you want one, I found the guy who works at the company, for X Chair Direct. And you basically, if you call them up and just mention my name, they'll give you about $150 of options for free.
Hey, that's great. If you can, put that in the chat, or maybe Sarah can find out something and put it in the
Yeah,
chat.
just telling you, go check out xchair.com. I'm a believer, and I'm a very, I'm a hard sell. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about what Stephen just said. I deal in a segment of the financial world that's a little bit different than Dominic's. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to make a statement and some of you are going to balk at it, but I'm going to say 70% of you that are on this call are financially illiterate. You just don't understand how money works. And people go, what do you mean? And Stephen's heard me on the phone with CPAs, financial planners. And I say that to them, they get a little offended. Then at the end, they go, I'm all in, you're right. And I've said this, some of you have heard this before, so it'll be a little bit of a repeat, but how does that happen? Okay. Everyone on the call, raise your hand if you think nutrition is important to your day-to-day health. I want all of you that have friends who are MDs, or the next time you talk to a medical doctor, just say, hey, some guy made a really crazy statement. I'd like to verify it. And all the time you're in medical school, how many classes do you do on nutrition? And what they're going to tell you is this or this. That's it. When you go back and look at what are CPAs taught? Well, CPAs, if you go look at their curriculum, are taught accounting, assets and liabilities, FIFO, LIFO, and the tax code. They're not taught how money really works. They give clients bad advice constantly. Stephen's heard me on the phone with super successful CPAs. At the end of the day, they're like, I've been telling my clients the wrong thing for 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, as long as they've been in practice, because they're not taught how money really works in school. They're just taught spreadsheet stuff. So our business is based on educating people. And when they realize what they don't know, and a lot of times they get upset, not at us, they're upset at themselves because they've been paying a CPA or a financial planner, and they've been telling them the wrong thing. And it's not an if, it's 100% sure they've been told the wrong thing. They really enjoy what we tell them. And our whole premise is this. Are you 100% sure you're gonna have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt? 95% of the people in the United States can only tell you they have doubt. There's only 5% of the people in the United States that can honestly say they have no doubt about retiring. Our USP, or unique selling proposition, is you're like most folks. What if we could show you how to get out of debt, all your debt, including your mortgage, student loans if you have any, consumer credit debt, in the next 9 years or so without spending a penny more than you're spending now? Could we get 20 minutes of your time? And then 20 minutes of their time is a PowerPoint presentation pretty much on financial literacy. So they realize what they don't know. And then when they see what we've done for people, real people, they go, how do I do that? And we just show them, and they self-select and go, yeah, I want to do this, or no, I don't. And if it's no, we don't put them on a drip email campaign, call them and bug them. We're way too busy. And that's what we do. But again, I'm telling you, the X chair will change your life.
People can either reach out to you, or they could reach out to Sarah as well.
Yeah, either way, real simple. I've got a really simple toll-free number. It's 866-859-PLAN. That's PLAN. Remember, if you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Very good. Mark, who on the panel that you've spoken to do you think we should speak to next?
Who should you speak to next?
Yeah, who should I ask the question to next?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. I think you need to talk to Mr. Is there a moose loose in his hoose?
Who would that be?
He knows. Put your hand up. You don't know?
You don't? I guess I don't know. Who would
It's
that be?
Adam. He's in Canada.
It's Adam. It's Canada.
Okay, Adam. Before I get to Adam, I just want to ask Domenic one quick question. Domenic, are you still there?
I am.
How was your Rockstar Connect event last week?
It was 2 weeks ago, and it was fantastic. We had well over 40 people there. Awesome.
That's
First time back out. Oh yeah, there were a ton of
brand new people that had not attended before.
Oh, Jenny, I'm glad you were able to make it too. We had one downtown last week. We had about 60 people at the event, and more than half of them were all new people and extremely enthusiastic. And boy, a lot of business passed hands with amongst the people that were there. I mean, we were setting appointments to spend money with one another. Great thing. And that's how we all try to participate in the economy. Adam, it's loosening up a little bit there. I know that you have a lot of things that are going on. Do you want to share with us what you do, what's going on, and how people can reach out to you?
Absolutely. Thanks. And thanks, Mark. And I have no Canadian references because I'm just visiting up here. I'm Floridian and I can't wait to be back on the beach. As a matter of fact, I'm planning a trip. And Stephen, I'm looking at your schedules as events because as Sarah and I drive from Canada down to Florida and back up to Canada, love the opportunity to come to some of your live events.
That would be great. We'd love that.
I've been on lockdown here in visiting Canada. So in the last 2 weeks, we've been to 2 restaurants.
Yay.
So they open back up. So I get to the gym's back open. So I'm feeling really, really great. But we're still doing the virtual book tours. And if you guys haven't seen this yet, and I know a lot of you haven't, we take the authors, we bring them on, we talk about the story behind their books, the coaching programs behind what they're doing. And we've been sharing this now. We've been doing it for a year. This Thursday at 1 p.m., we're having the virtual book tour launch anniversary for my wife, and that's for Sarah. And she went from not being able to afford to get her book published to doing published, pre-published sales, looking to make 6 figures as a dream, and then ending up making 6 figures in a month. So it was really a fantastic thing. You will see so much love and so much bonding. Next week, after Sarah, we have Terry Levine. Terry Levine has a new book called The Conversion Equation. If you guys have a lot of leads and want to know how to change that lead into financial success, she's a great person to hop on with. And of course, for me, for everybody we work with, we do the digital branding toolboxes. This time next week, we'll launch Rhonda Sher's, who I met here on Rockstar Connect. We're going to launch hers. She's got a big program on how to master LinkedIn coming up on August 17th. The easiest way to contact me is pick up your cell phone, pick up your smartphone. I know you have one because everybody has one. 100% of your clients have a smartphone. 100% of your prospects have a smartphone. I put your brand in their hand. And the way to do that is just text this little word, Adam, ATOM, to 855-476-4845. And I know sometimes it's a little small over there. If you need it bigger, we can do it like this. Bam. 855-476-4845. If I was on a spotlight, you'd see the whole thing.
I would argue that more people probably have cell phones today than laptops.
Last year, cell phones passed laptops and desktops as both the number one way to buy things online and the number one way to surf social media. So if you want people going to your LinkedIn and website, just put the link right in their hand.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Adam. Christina down in Georgia, and then we'll go over to Lisa in Georgia.
Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Christina L. Turner. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. I'm excited. I'm getting closer and closer to my event next week.
Right?
Yeah, it's a sexy, hot red affair black tie event for couples. So that couples can have some couple time, have a good night, one of the best date nights with jazz, live music. We have a DJ, food, champagne toast, all that wonderful stuff. But what do I do and how do I contribute back? I am an entrepreneur. I have more than one business. One of my businesses, I'm a luxury event planner. I've been all over the world. I created a master class where I teach other event planners how to be successful event planners. It's private, how I do that. I also have a financial business, and he is absolutely right when it comes to that's all we're taught is about tax codes and spreadsheets. I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you about my money so that we can have a conversation about that. But how do I give back? I created a platform, a YouTube channel. Is fairly new. And at first, I kind of really didn't know how I was going to do it. I wanted to give out some good information about entrepreneurship, about finances, how to find money for your business. And so many people is giving out so much information about that. And at the same time, I wanted to do some coaching. But I have my coaching website to just do business consulting, and it kind of wasn't meshing together. I felt like it wasn't given that oomph that I really needed, and I didn't feel like I was really helping anybody. So I took 3 months off from doing my YouTube channel to really pray about what I want to do to get a vision, because I didn't want to just dump the channel. And so what I did was came up with a concept that entrepreneurs who really need help and they still want to showcase their business, they are able to get consulting from me 1 hour every Tuesday on my platform for free. So they get to talk about their business. And then I also do coaching with them at the same time. So we have a great conversation. And that's how I give back for right now. I just got into the Georgia area, making my way around, and that's basically it.
When is your Rockstar Connect event coming up?
My Rockstar Connect event is September the 5th.
So coming up pretty close. Are you doing a lot of promotion? Is the team helping you out?
I think so. I'm not too sure because right now we've been focusing on this event because it was supposed to be this past week for it. So I haven't really seen anything that much on the Buckhead because I am also the Rockstar Connect host for Buckhead, and I've only seen a couple of posts on there. I can't post in there. There's nowhere way for me to post there. So whomever is doing it, I guess the marketing.
I think they need to produce some materials for you for next week at your next event.
Who needs to produce materials?
Alan will. Alan, can you get the team to produce some stuff for her to be able to pass out at her next event next week?
I believe I already sent quite a few.
Excellent,
Yeah.
Terrific.
Okay.
Christina, you're also a grandmother, correct?
I am, to a 16-year-old who is looking for a job. She doesn't want to work for me. She doesn't want to work for me. Well, she's in New York and she just turned 16. A very smart, beautiful young lady, has her head together. She knows exactly what she wants to do in life. So, yes, I am a grandmother. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, and good luck on your event. We know it's going to be fantastic. They always are when we do them in Atlanta and in Buckhead. John FitzGerald out in Charlotte.
Hello, Stephen. Thank you so much for hosting and for having me here. My business does not appeal to everyone, but it does appeal to a certain segment of you who either are looking to buy or sell a home, or you are in the business. My name is John FitzGerald. I am wear a couple of hats. I'm one of the brokers in charge, which means I'm a managing broker for our office of Wilkinson ERA Real Estate. We're the number 2 size ERA franchise in the nation. We have offices in the Charlotte metropolitan area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, and Asheville, Hendersonville. I'm also the agent services director. I'm in charge of real estate coaching and training. So my job essentially is to help you grow and develop your real estate career, whatever market you're in. I've been in the business for 22 plus years. I believe this is my 23rd year of active brokerage. I've seen a lot. I haven't seen everything. Every day is a new day, but I'm passionate about what I do, and I love helping people. And to that extent, I have recently started this past year, toward the end of last year, beginning of this year, the Learn More Institute of Real Estate. So now I own a real estate school. I'm the education director and instructor, providing all of your real estate education needs, from licensure, pre-licensing, including exam prep, post-licensing to remove your provisional status if you move to North Carolina as a broker or you become a licensee. Your annual continuing education, which you're required to complete every year in North Carolina. And I do this through live Zoom classes. I'm in Zoom Studio 1 for our meeting today. So I do those as well. And I also provide on-demand self-paced class, so you can take them on your time. And later this fall, we will be debuting actual in-person classes in Charlotte. So a lot of stuff going on. Really happy to share that. I know it's not going to appeal to everyone, but for those who do have the need, I wish you would check us out and give us an opportunity to earn your business. I will place my contact information in the chat box. Let's see how that works. Oh, look at there. Somebody typed really, really fast.
That was definitely a quick typist there.
Yeah.
So, real estate, is this a market like no other, or is there nothing new under the sun?
No, this is a market like no other. I've been, like I said, I've done this for 22 years, which means I was in real estate in the big recession. And that was a bizarre time because it really affected multiple pieces, both from a mortgage standpoint, from a valuation standpoint, and from a sales standpoint. This market is riding a high for sellers like we've never seen. 18% year over year price appreciation in North Carolina. Some markets have seen even higher. And it has been a frenzy for sellers. We do see some signs of cooling off, but just minute. I don't know if there's enough to.
I think a lot of that's anecdotal.
Well, I think a lot of it is also buyers just getting frustrated. If you don't have buyers in the market, the sellers, there's no market. I mean, sellers can sit back and say, I'm in charge of things, but if there's no buyers for your houses, you're in charge of nothing. So without the buyers, the sellers don't have a market. And right now, I think the buyers are saying, you know what, I've had enough of this foolishness. So
I think it's a lot of agents are not helping their clients pivot, and they're not pivoting themselves. And that's where you have to be, successful in real estate. I've spoken to many agents that have been in the market 10 years plus. They've had a number of years where they made money without having to do an awful lot of work. And now it requires the best professionals possible. I mean, the cream of the crop is really rising to the surface. And those that are good are going to do very well and who can pivot. I mean, I have 4 listings coming on the market right now, all banging on my door, but I'm also learning new things about the market, learning about iBuyer programs and saying, hey, is this a positive or a negative? Well, it's a positive. If my client, I have a listing, there was a listing I was talking to one of my existing clients, and they got an offer $100,000 over market value from an iBuyer. And he wanted to know if I could do better. I said, no, absolutely not. I can't do better, but I tell you what, I know how to work with those iBuyer programs so we can get you the maximum advantage so that when you go purchase a home, you'll be in a great spot to buy a new home. So I was able to recommend that he go with the iBuyer, and I see that the iBuyer is a partner now, and for me to do even more real estate. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a great point. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you've got to do your work. And so many realtors over the past few years have just kind of gotten by because you didn't have to work as hard. Now you've really got to understand the market. You've got to understand what you can and can't do. There's a lot of people out there that are getting caught up by the newest, latest trend, and the newest, latest trend may not be the best advice for your client. And like you pointed out, a lot of realtors would have avoided an iBuyer like the plague, but you need to embrace all options because that's what your job is to do.
I mean, if my client had not been offered $100,000 over market value, he wouldn't be in the market to sell his house and buy another house. That's like an extra cent for me.
And that is, that is important to understand, is that at the end of the day, your job is to help your client sell their home, and you need to avail yourself of all opportunities. And that's something that not a lot of real estate professionals think, because they get commission breath. They look and they say, well, I'm going to lose money if I do this, or we need to do this so I can get a closing. And that's, those are the people that are short for this career. They're going to be out of this business in no time. And that's one of the scary things, is a lot of also realtors get in the business and they don't take their education seriously. They don't take their post-licensing as soon as they really should, because they don't learn it all in pre-licensing. They just learn to pass a test. I teach you what is actually going to happen to you in real life. This is the real life stuff.
Now for agents to mentor, good agents to mentor new agents, to replace the people that are probably leaving real estate in droves because it's too hard now.
We have coaching and mentoring as a free coaching. I do coaching every morning, and we have mentoring programs available for agents who need it, because more than ever now, you need somebody that's in your corner, because things are moving fast. You have minutes to make decisions, not days. And so, that is something that we do provide, both coaching and mentoring for all of our agents.
The people that are coming into the industry now, they shouldn't be thinking this is a side gig. They should be thinking about, how professional can I be? How can I educate myself to be able to serve my client properly?
It's got a low barrier for entry, admittedly, even though North Carolina is one of the toughest states in the nation to get licensed, and they're proud of that. Well, we are, I guess. I'm an instructor. But it is a relatively low barrier to entry for a business. So I think it's incumbent upon all of us in the industry to make sure that we are presenting ourselves as a professional. So even if, so they see that this is what it takes. And in the absence of value, money or experience becomes the determining factor, and everybody will sell it to you for cheaper. And everybody has been doing it one day longer than the next guy. So you got to provide value if you think you're going to make it in this business and in any business.
Excellent. Well, thanks, John. That's great information. And it seems like we're on the same page with real estate. And I'm sure,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Jay. Jay knows a lot about real estate. He'll close out, and he'll probably have something to say about it as well. You don't mind closing out the show today, do you, Jay? You're good with that? Okay, terrific. Jennifer Williamson. I was so glad to see you this week. After every show, Sarah, would you say I always comment on what Jennifer has to say, how valuable it is? So we're glad that you're here. Tell us, refresh everyone what you do, what you're planning on doing, how they can do business with you, how they can refer to you, whatever you like. It's shameless plug week.
All right. Love doing these things. So I own a advertising creative services company, but what I'm focusing now, I would love to brag about, is my startup animation studio. And it would be the first of its kind in this state, or at least in this Myrtle Beach area, period. So we've brought in a lot of people, work for Disney, DreamWorks, Sony, Bento Box, all the major studios, etc. People with decades of experience. We got the best of the best, etc. So now I'm like, kind of, cleaning things up with my COO and making sure every document looks right, everything, all the numbers are adding up right, so we can talk with the investors. So how people can help us is that we can, get referrals for people who possibly need some high-end advertising, like a business owner, etc. So we can talk with them and at least start that relationship with them. So we can prove and continue to talk to our investors saying, hey, we have these people that we're talking to, so that we can, do business with them and potentially have animation work to do for them. And we're also, creating films and series as well. So also a huge part besides the advertising part is the entertainment industry. So that's a huge, side of it that we're very excited about doing. So anybody who wants to be a producer, executive producer, etc., please send them our way, and, we can definitely, throw them onto the team. And also, that will help with our, process that we're going through. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I'll put the info in chat.
You have opportunities for interns as well?
Yes, if anyone who has some graphic design experience, they have a demo reel or portfolio you to put together, I can take a look and see where they could fit in, etc. Or someone who, needs a little PR experience, they can help us, around. So yeah, I'm definitely open, because once we get this rolling, we would have like a internship program to help foster that tech/creative community in this area, where that's pretty, basically non-existent in this area. We want to provide that opportunity to people who want to get their foot in the door in the entertainment, or at least in the animation industry.
So you're basically putting, the Carolinas and your part of the Carolinas on the map for animation. Are you going to be working, with the different chambers of commerce and universities, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I have lots of plans for economic growth and also partnerships with different organizations in the city. But once, we get formed, and we can actually go talk with those people, and we can work with them, because I would like to work with the universities in this area too.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Myrtle Beach in over 10 years, you really need to go back to Myrtle Beach, because big things are happening there. There's stuff for everyone to enjoy, and Jennifer's on the pulse of it. If you need to reach out to Jennifer, she'll put her information, or Sarah will, in the chat. I behoove you to reach out to her while she's still available to speak to. I mean, she could be the next Jeff Bezos, or we don't know. Who knows where it'll end up. So now's your opportunity to speak with someone who's really cutting edge. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Another person I'm very impressed with, who's doing big things in marketing, and has a great perspective on life, way beyond his years, Devin Norton. Devin, why don't you let everybody know what you do? First of all, let them know how you learned how to do it, and then tell them what you do and see how they can learn how to do what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So I went through a Facebook course. I was actually on Facebook scrolling, saw an ad. I never ever read Facebook ads, but I read to the very bottom of it, went through the entire funnel, and got on a phone call, and it was teaching how to do marketing. And the thought that got me over the hump was, if they can get me to read an entire ad when I don't read ads, then they can teach me how to do that. And so I went feet first into it, learned everything I could while I was running a full-time job at the time. Picked it up really quickly and quit my job within 3 months and became a full-time entrepreneur. But my bread and butter income is digital real estate. I basically build websites. I ranked in the top of Google, and then I rent out those spaces. But as far as like my client interaction, there's almost none there. So I don't really want to talk much about that. It's just like a service they rent from me. Really, where I like interact with the community is most business owners are already doing some form of marketing online. Like most people create a Facebook page and they try it out, or they'll try some Google ads, or they'll try to boost a post on Facebook, or run Facebook ads, or even, make a website. And they try these things and they don't get the best results. And sometimes they'll blame it on that. It's like, oh, that just doesn't work for me. And the reality is to do all these things at a very high level, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of pieces that you have to know. And so what I do is I just educate people, because I don't really need to go out and pick up clients. I have my rental property working for me. So I just educate people in my free time. And sometimes I'll go with months of just giving them tips like, hey, do this, do this, do this. And what eventually happens is they go, dude, this is so much work and I want to run my business. I'm not a marketer. Like, can you just do this for me? And that's how I end up bringing on new clients. It's just constantly educating people. Hey, you should do this with your Facebook posts. You should use this kind of copy for your Facebook posts. Maybe throw these keywords on your website, stuff like that. So if anyone does currently, if they are trying things with your with marketing strategies and they're not really working the best, just let me know. I can make you a quick video and an audit and show you exactly what to change and try it out. And you can give me some feedback if it worked for you or not.
And that's great. I mean, I know the people that taught Devin. I know the people that he's worked with, and they're all great marketers. They're military veterans. They're people that have started companies and sold companies, and their whole basis for the last 30 years of doing businesses is there is no such thing as secrets. So all knowledge that you have, you should share with other people, so they understand what's available on the market that they can take on for themselves, and what they would be smarter at paying other people to do. And it's all about laying out exactly what all the secrets are, because there are no secrets. There's nothing new under the sun. We're having a conversation, shy of the technology. We could have been having this conversation in the 1930s. or earlier, because business is older than history itself. And Devin, I appreciate that you're continuing that tradition of the people that educated you to provide knowledge and provide that value proposition to other people. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Devin, you were going to say?
Oh, I just said thank you.
And what's the best way for people to reach you?
On my website, my company is SEO Dallas TX. I picked a really easy to remember keyword. So just SEO DallasTX.com. You'll see my phone number right on there. You can send me a form or whatever you want to do.
Great. We really want you to be a host out there in Texas. So make sure you speak with a physical event. So
Yeah,
sure,
for sure.
Speak with Kim and Sarah about that. I think you'll do fantastically well.
Sweet. Thank you.
He wants to know, is it .com? Is that are you a .com site?
.com, yes. SEO DallasTX.com.
Great.
And then my email is sorry.
What's your email? I'm sorry, Devin.
It's just my first name at SEO DallasTX.com.
Excellent. So I keep on mentioning Sarah. Sarah Elliott is my wife and also the co-creator of Rockstar Connect. If it wasn't for her, we would not have been able to scale and do events all over the world. So definitely a very impressive person. If you deal with Rockstar Connect, you're dealing primarily with Sarah and her team. Dr. Holly Sullenger, welcome.
Hey, it's good to be back. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Tell us what you do and how you do it and why you do it and how people can reach you.
Yeah, so the thing most people don't realize is that when you get a college degree, that knowledge base that you have only lasts about 5 years in business and industry. It doesn't matter what profession you're doing. And then there's a need to retrain. And so I do continuing professional education. I do corporate speaking, training, and consulting. And all of my clients are corporate clients, professional associations, big groups. Every day is different for me. The challenge I'll give everybody, my sweet spot, I guess, I'm really known for being able to do technology classes and have everybody walk away happy about it. So if you've ever had to use Microsoft Excel, and if you're not a big fan, I will challenge you to work with me and I will make you absolutely adore it.
Well, that's great. And you are a doctor.
I am a doc. I'm a doc in corporate training. So I've studied how adults learn best. It's when we have to pick up extra knowledge, we have a lot of choices out there now at our fingertips. You can do online training, you can do, face-to-face or in-person training if the COVID rules are not there. And there's a lot of choices, but one of the things that most adult trainers don't realize is that there's an art to helping adults want to learn and want to pick up the knowledge and actually take it back and use it and get excited about it. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy doing.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Holly, for being on. It's been a while. I hope we see you soon. Are you in town today, or you maybe?
I am in town, but I've got clients all around the globe right now because one of the positive aspects, I guess, of COVID is that people who could never have afforded to have me fly in and put me up, keep me in another country are able to afford me because we're doing the virtual training. So it's been really exploding, and I'm lucky to be able to train all around the globe.
Excellent. Clint, do you have a question?
No, Holly's not going to say this, but everybody come and watch her speak next Wednesday at Business and Bourbon at Spaces at the Dillon in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Please come out and join us. Clint will be there so that you can get an autograph.
And Domenic, and Domenic will be speaking as well. So it's going to be a great time.
In fact, Dom is a featured speaker.
So Clint, while we have you here, why don't you tell us what you do, how people can reach out to you?
So I work for a company called Coeco Office Systems. So we do digital office management, copiers, fax machines, if you still use that technology, from your small desktop printers to your $1 million production machines and everything in between. And we like to help nonprofits. We have special pricing for nonprofits and law firms and medical offices and whatnot because we're dealers for Canon, Xerox, and Kyocera. So we can pretty much fit any need that's needed for your business. And so if you have anybody that needs any kind of office equipment or has any questions about office equipment, you can definitely tell them to give me a shout. And I will.
Did any of those printers ever just fall off the back of the truck?
No, not like these black market X chairs that Mark is getting with his special connection. We don't have any of those. Now, shameless plug though, I'm going to talk about podcast that Domenic and I have. We do 2 podcasts together. One is called the Joe Schmo Sports Show. That's SCHMO for those that don't know how to spell Schmo. And the Liquid Soapbox, which is Dom's baby. And both of these podcasts, we have a lot of fun doing. We have a lot of great guests that have already been on the show. And we are looking for great guests to be on the show that are either involved in sports, any kind of sports, anywhere from the business sales side, cheerleaders, players, coaches, front office, back office, all that stuff. So we're looking for all those things.
Jay Izso would be a great.
Yeah, Jay and I need to connect. That's for sure.
He has a great knowledge of sports, but he is an incredible. During COVID, he kept himself going physically. In the garage.
Yeah,
using all sorts of different things like milk bottles and concrete blocks. And...
Well, we definitely need to talk, Jay. And if I see you on your way out today, we'll set up something for sure. But I'll drop my contact information in the chat. Now, for the Liquid Soapbox, it's a little bit different. It's just kind of having people in there to rant, talk shit, do whatever you want. It's fun, right, Stephen? We had Stephen on a few weeks back.
Very positive, which is what I like. I don't like any negativity. And
no, not from Dom and I, for sure. Like, we're just gonna sit there, we're gonna have a drink, we're gonna have good conversations, and it goes where it goes. We don't really have an agenda, and so I think that's
I don't normally have a drink during the 3 martini lunch, but I did have a very healthy one during this one. I bought a new rock glass off a marketplace and had it.
Well, Dom and I have a few every Monday when we're interviewing people. So it's a really good time. It's really fun to get people into the studio at Dom's speakeasy and just have a conversation, natural conversation, see where it goes. We have learned some very interesting things along this.
We'd love to host you over at our bar one time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have you and Sarah on at the same time. We'll just bring the equipment over to your house.
You need to have Sarah on. She's more interesting.
I know. We tried to get her on last time, but apparently it was you were just camera hogging it. So that's fine.
That's it. That's what I did.
We'll get her on next time for sure. But if anybody knows anybody that would be interested in being a guest on the podcast that has any sports knowledge, or just wants to have a good conversation that has an interesting story to tell, you can hit me up. You can hit Dom up. We're both on LinkedIn all the time. So that's the easiest way to get me for sure. And we'd be glad to talk to anybody for sure. It's gonna be fun.
Well, Lisa is a huge sports fan.
Are you, Lisa?
I have a Gilbert Brown who used to play for the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert Brown, the really, really big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a pregame Packers game in Madison, Wisconsin, and the guy in front of me, because we were so close, and this guy is so big, he actually yelled at him to move so he could watch the game.
He's a big individual.
The ugliest expression was on his face, and he moved out of the way so that the fan that he yelled at him to move could see the game.
No doubt.
Sarah and I have been participating in a new type of networking, which is sort of cool. We call it Facebook Marketplace networking. And we buy stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and we sell stuff with people that we know that we have friends in common. And then we'll sit with them for like an hour or two and hang out. And that's how we met Lisa. Lisa and her significant other, Brooke, had this incredible grandfather clock. I've always wanted to have a grandfather clock. And they brought it over to our house and they set it up for us. And then we found out Lisa was a business coach and that Brooks owned a fantastic national marketing company. And, the rest is history. Now Lisa's on the program as a panelist, but this has happened to us many times on Marketplace. I will have to tell you that it's a great way to meet people in your community locally one-on-one by going to their house and buying their stuff, their garbage, and turning it into gold in your house. It's a lot of fun. In fact, Lisa actually, when she came to our house, bought books from us.
I did.
Because we have the world's smallest bookstores right here in our house here in Raleigh, because I used to be a rare book dealer. But Lisa, enough about me, more about you. Tell us what you do, why you do it, and how people can find you.
Awesome. I am the Unf Your Life coach. I have a podcast called, ironically, Unf Your Life. So since I didn't exactly use the right word out there, if you just go out to podcasts and you just look for me, Lisa Grunden, you'll find it out there. And you know what? I built this business because I got really sick and tired. And then this is worldwide, not just locally in places, of a lot of coaches going, this is the best formula for how you should live your life. And you need to do X, Y, Z. And it's just a bunch of baloney in a lot of cases, because what's right for you is what's right for you, what's right for your values, what's right for your standards, what's right for your energy level, your interests. There's all these things. And so the whole concept around Unf Your Life is all of that data that has been fed to us from beginning, from the womb on up, that just isn't in alignment with you as an individual, is that we assist you in removing all that stuff that doesn't serve you and replacing, adding what you want for yourself. And so one of the biggest ways in Unfing Your Life is I've built this Irresistible You Bootcamp, and I actually have one that's starting on the 12th of August that you can find on my website, yourlimitlesspotential.com, and that's totally free.
Great
We
website.
hang out for a couple of days. What?
Great website name.
Your Limitless Potential. Yeah, it's the company, because you know what? Because whatever is intrinsically you, authentically do, whatever crazy, eccentric, spontaneous idea that you have, things that you like to do about your life, that's what the world needs more of. And that's what I get to do. I've done this on 4 continents now. So, because one of the things that we do is we travel a lot. We work in a lot of different countries. My hubby builds airports during his day job. That's why we're in Atlanta right now. So anyway, that's me, Your Limitless Potential. If you have any questions, hey, let me know. I'll drop my contact info down in there.
Thank you, Lisa. Love your enthusiasm.
That's one of the craziest airports I've ever been to in my life.
Atlanta.
Yeah, it's got to be 200 degrees there.
It's hot.
today.
It's hot. I think it still is the busiest airport in the United States. I'm not sure now the COVID thing is. It was going back and forth with, what was it? Was it JFK?
Well, I mean,
Chicago,
Atlanta's the busiest.
Dallas is pretty insane. I used to, coming from Miami, I used to hate Miami International Airport with a passion, but they finally got on track, and that's a fun airport to be stuck in. Lots of good food and fun things going on. Right, Mark?
Steven, I have an
Yeah.
interesting factoid for you, for your husband. Hartsfield International Airport was originally going to be built in Birmingham, Alabama, but the city father decided, we don't want that airport here. Birmingham used to be a major industrial city. And the reason Atlanta is because they put Hartsfield there, or Birmingham would have been Atlanta, and Atlanta would have been a little cow town like it was in the 60s. There you go.
Well, I mean, we're pretty smart here on the East Coast, so it's a good thing. Jenny Midgley. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
I'm good, Steven. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a great day.
Hi, Clint. Thank you.
So tell us, what do you do? How do you do it? And how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm a content marketing strategist. My expertise is with personal branding. And it's also with really helping you learn how to create content that sells without being salesy. Really how to put your best self forward. I'm a brand and marketing photographer. I work with business owners, sales professionals, and entrepreneurs to create visual content for their websites and social media platforms. And I help them learn how to, put it out there effectively, so they're not just throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping something's going to stick and getting mad that, they post all the time, but really, the 3 times in the last year doesn't count.
You're very good at what you do because you're not salesy.
No.
You yourself are not salesy. So you're just, letting people do what you do. Social media is so powerful. And my group, I started this Lake Gaston page. I don't know if anybody a member of my Lake Gaston page? Before COVID, I had 400 members. Today, I have 22,200 members. And the page is completely monetized. And now I'm opening up a real estate office over there at the lake. I got to tell you, I've only been to the lake myself once. and I'm like the mayor of Lake Aston from
Right.
social media. Can people still do that in social media?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really not hard to like, people are mystified by how to grow a following, right? But it's really just, if you're consistent, like if you're putting the right message out there to speak to the right people, which are the people to whom you want to connect. And like, the biggest mistake that business owners, especially entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and brick and mortar, like, the biggest mistake we all make is thinking that we are our ideal client. Because I promise you, 95% of the time, you are not. So listen to the marketing expert who's like, really, what you like, you have a great idea and that'll work excellent for that business over there. But let's talk about you and the clients with whom you're trying to connect. It's really just about understanding, like, who it is that you want to talk to, putting the right message out there, and being consistent in your message. And it's playing the long game, but it'll work. And for some people that, some businesses, that long game maybe 3 years, and that's because of their product or service. But it's about really understanding, the intention behind it.
Whenever you and Norma are on at the same time, I feel like you guys should have a company together. Right?
Maybe we can make some magic happen. It's, I'll add that to the list of things that I can put forth on the ideas. Like, and that's so that board behind me on my wall or on my door is all of the like amazing ideas that I have for moving forward. That I haven't had
Really, I
time
mean,
to
you don't
execute.
feel like people should change themselves. You feel they should present themselves the way they are, and then their clientele will find them.
Like, I mean, that's the podcast, right? Like, I have a podcast. It's called Girls Who Do Stuff, and it's that's our whole thing is share your story, right? You do you, boo. Like, it's not about being someone other than who you are, right? Because, like, what's the most disappointing thing that you find out there in the world when you find out that somebody that you've looked up to, that you've admired, that's inspired you, is a giant D-bag in real life?
Yeah. I mean, I love to do business with people that I can be friends with as well. That's like the extra plus.
Yeah.
Like, I got to pay you to be my friend. It's okay. I don't mind.
Right. And honestly, like, that's the number one compliment that I get is, like, you are someone with whom I'd like to go out and have a drink. Like, you feel like someone that I could hang out with and go, just have social hour. And that's the biggest compliment to me, because that means that I'm living my mission, right? Like, which is never to make anybody feel like they are pushed into buying anything from. I mean, do I want your money? Yeah. But if I'm not the right person for you, then I'll help you find somebody else.
I think that's a good message for like entrepreneurs in general. Association is important, and it's good to be friends with people, but you should also be looking out for financial opportunities for the people that you're networking with. That's part of your responsibility. You may never do business with that person yourself because, you're not their client and they're not your vendor, but people that, that are going to work great with Mark or with Domenic or, John or anyone that's on this panel. Learn who their perfect client is and satisfy them by introducing something that could be a friendship at first, a meaningful connection that'll eventually turn in business. Like Clint and I have never done a business transaction together. Never, but we are going to do a business transaction together. There's, and it'll be huge, Sarah says, when it happens, because we've already decided that's going to happen. The same thing with Domenic and other people that are here. But the meaningful connections, that's what it's about. Like Rockstar Connect, we're all about meaningful connections. We're not about like leads is such a, like, what's a lead? I'll give you the phone book. You want leads? Here's a phone book. Start making phone calls. That's what I used to do in sales. So you give me the phone book, start making calls. But that's not meaningful.
You don't need to do that anymore.
You don't need to do that. There's a billion leads out there. I mean, it's unlimited amount of business out there. I mean, frankly, once you become successful, you'll realize you'll have more business than you can ever handle. Right. Then choose the business that's going to add to your life and make it pleasant. And because that's what life is about.
Right. There's 11 million people just in the state of North Carolina. Like, I can't be everyone's photographer, right? And
Yeah,
I don't
what
want to
about
be, because I don't want to take pictures of your babies or your weddings or your kids. When fix the snot and the red noses and the crying. No, I'm not
And
that
I mean, real
photographer.
estate agents that come out and they go, they want to dominate the business. They're going to dominate the business. I go, you're such a douche.
Exactly.
Because if I gave you 1% of the business, you couldn't handle that. You couldn't
Right.
handle a quarter of the business that's out there. Find the business that belongs to you, nurture that business, help those clients, because that's what you're put on earth for. I mean, we're here to have a good time and make relationships and connections and enjoy life. Because
Mhm.
frankly, after we're gone, I mean, not a lot of us are going to be remembered for a very long period of time. But that being said, we can contribute to the greater creative and humanitarian consciousness and make life great for everyone around us that we have contact with.
Yep.
Thank you, Jenny. Put your information in there so people can reach out to you. Jay, Izzo, I'm going to let you close out and tell us what you do, but also what have you thought about, your colleagues here today on the panel?
Well, I always feel very grateful and privileged to be surrounded by all these great people who have contribute so much of their lives. I start with Norma Hollis, who starts with authenticity, and she embraces that. And I think you start to hear people like Jenny Midgley and Domenic Battistella and Mark Sher and Devin Norton and Dr. Holly Sullenger and Adam Bricker. They are true to who they are, and Lisa Grunden. They are true to who they are, and Clint as well. And I think it is so important, as well as Jennifer Williamson. It's so important that authenticity comes through, and I'm such a firm believer in that. It's huge, and what a great way to start with Norma, to have her bring that to the table, because I think it's powerful. I think, when I look at Lisa Grunden, I'd like going, okay, she has her niche. She knows what it is, and she knows what she does, and she loves what she does. Dr. Holly Sullenger who connected with me immediately on LinkedIn, is someone who's a power source that she likes, that you could just feel it with her power. Devin has created for himself this niche of people that come to him simply by helping people. Jenny gets it. She doesn't have to be everything to everybody. She just wants to help the right people who want to be helped by her, right? Adam Bricker, who I had a great conversation with 30 minutes yesterday, is one of those people who, has a philosophy that works and that he embraces, and that what happens is he makes it work because it is true to who he is, and he's not afraid of it at all in any way, shape, or form. And he's proud of what he does. Mark Sher has got the best program I've ever heard in terms of somebody financially who really truly cares that you don't end up in a place where you shouldn't be financially. I mean, he really is concerned that you really will, that when your time comes to retire, are you really ready? Do you know that you're really ready to retire? And we are mostly ignorant. And it's such a powerful message that he's got. And I love listening to him every time he talks, because I'm not somebody who likes to necessarily hear about financial people, but man, when he talks, he is definitely the E.F. Hutton of old when it comes to the finances. Then of course, Clint Webb, who is all over the place, but has this niche. I remember Adam Bricker and I talking yesterday and last week. We're unemployable in what we do. We are all unemployable because we have found our niche. And Adam has a niche. He knows exactly the Joe Schmoes, right? He knows exactly the liquid soapbox. He knows exactly that he is the golf dude. Man, I'm going to land clients through golf. And that's what he does. And he is true to that. And that's really awesome. And then, of course, Sarah Elliott, who sits back there and is kind of behind the scenes, keeping us all together. We appreciate everything you do. And of course, there's you, Stephen. You've been doing this. I interviewed you how many years ago? 15 years ago, right? And you know what? You've been the same person you've always been.
And I remember when I interviewed with you, and I was interviewing with different firms at that time. And what the general comment is, I believe you're going to say what you're going to do. You're going to do very well in this because you have a mission that you're trying to accomplish.
Yep.
And I think that it is awesome that all of us can participate with one another, be raving fans with one another, Because for me, you know, there's a whole part about entrepreneurship about making your own money. I mean, basically every day, every single one of us wake up unemployed. And we have to start over again, and we have to work with our clients and prove our value to them. But in the meantime, we have engendered such a phenomenal lifestyle for ourselves that other people just, you want to like grab them by the shoulders and shake them and say, get out of the matrix. Like we're like Keanu Reeves out there in the real world, knowing that there's so much happiness that's right there available for the taking that people are offering us. You know, the fact that we have coaches and people that have their own business, and there's business opportunities. You know, people ask me, what business are you in? I'm in the I'm in the opportunity business. Right. What opportunities do you have, and what opportunities do you want to achieve that I can help you with? Who can I connect you with to make that happen? Well, thank you very much, Jay. Thanks to everyone that's been on here. Jennifer, congratulations. I mean, we're going to hear such big things about Jennifer. We're going to be talking like 20 years from now. We're going to have stories about when we met Jennifer and Devin. Right? Do you feel that? And, you know, we're going to be very proud of them. So thank you guys very much. See you the same time next week. And check out rockstarconnect.com for the event near you. And I'm asking all of you out there, we are looking for new hosts, so please reach out. Thank you.
800. Thank you. I'll see you next week.